Sarcasm Speaks. It's Jared and Bob here. It's a Thursday night for us. It's a Monday morning for you guys. Well, maybe it's a Monday morning. Maybe it's an afternoon. Um, maybe it's the middle of the night. Maybe it's maybe you're sexy Chris, who's probably the only person that listens to this show right at midnight when it drops because he works overnights. Or maybe you're, the person in Arkansas, or the many people in Arkansas that have been listening to the show. Shout out to you guys. I looked at I hadn't looked at the stats from the show in a while. And I looked the other day, and apparently we've developed quite the following in the state of Arkansas.
That's interesting.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull it up right here. So,
because we've definitely made fun of Arkansas on the show.
Yeah, so our top
who haven't we made fun of, though?
This is true.
There's probably no state we haven't made fun of. If it's like a real state. Like I have nothing to say about the Dakotas.
No. Well, everyone knows North Dakota's fake.
Yeah, it's not a real place. I don't think we've ever made fun of Idaho.
No, probably not. Idaho seems like a pretty cool place.
Idaho and Montana.
Yeah, those both seem like really cool places.
I think they're sneaky places. Like, if you've been there, you like upon arriving, you're supposed to sign like an NDA where you're not going to talk about how cool it actually is.
Yeah.
So that way everyone thinks it sucks.
Yep. I've heard that about Idaho. It's like people that go there are like, holy shit, it's like the most beautiful place ever. But then they're like, the people that live in Idaho are like,
sucks.
Shut the fuck up. No, it's terrible. You don't want to live here. So, yeah, the top 5 states that where our audience comes from is Massachusetts, obviously, is number 1, and then Arkansas, and surprisingly, next is California, which is funny because we shit on California all the time, but maybe there's people in California that also hate the people in California.
It's a numbers game.
I mean, we live in Massachusetts and we hate people who live in Massachusetts. So there's a chance.
I hate this
and state. Then Virginia and Maryland. So we know Maryland is Jones and Virginia is Mitch.
Well, since he's listening, I did talk to him. Credit to Mitch for fucking breaking his hand on a box jump.
Yeah. He texted me earlier today and was like, hey, I'm so down for the podcast on Sunday. I have so many good stories. And I was like,
we're not going on Sunday.
And I was like, yeah, we're actually recording tonight. Can you do tonight? And he was like, no, I got to get hand surgery today. I'm like, all right.
He might, he's not sure if he's gonna like be working or not. Cause it could be a workers' comp thing.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So I talked to him for probably, I don't know, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
The other day, he gave me a call.
Yeah, I felt bad. He called. Well, I'll kind of, in a way, talk to him, sort of. He called me this morning.
If you're listening.
Yeah. And I was working. Like, I was actually like physically like in the middle of like walking around with the moving company, like making sure they were doing what they needed to do. And he called me and I was like, I can't take this call right now. I'm literally fucking balls deep in my job. But then he texted me right after and said that. And that's when I was like, well, what about tonight? Yeah. So maybe we can get him on Tuesday's episode. That would that would be fun.
We'll see. I mean, it's hand surgery. He's probably not missing much time.
Yeah.
What's he going to be on, painkillers for 2 days?
Yeah, probably. I mean, he'll be in a cast, most likely.
Yeah, but like, he's not going to be like disabled.
Yeah. You know what's really interesting? There's like this new wave of, I guess you would call it medicine, or this new like thought process around medicine and like broken bones, that people think it's actually a really bad idea to cast things. Now, there's a sliding scale here, right? Like if it's a complete like compound fracture, like bone is sticking out of the skin, like, okay, yeah, reset it and probably throw a cast on it. But there's a lot of people that are, or there's a lot of talk, and I there might be some research on this, I don't know, but there's some stuff going around that I've heard, that like if you have like a small break, like a broken wrist or like a fractured arm or something like that, that the body actually heals better when it's not casted, which kind of makes sense in a way if you think about it, because you're still using it, right? And like it hurts, but like the act of using it and moving is going to actually help it heal, because it obviously helps the blood flow. And then, not to get super scientific, but like the whole, muscles pulling on the bone and the osteoblasts and all that bullshit. But
Well, I was gonna say the number one predictor of healing is blood flow. And yeah, when you cast something and you don't use it and you can't get blood flow to it.
right.
But I also wonder if, even though casting is an inferior method for healing, it's more of a protective mechanism.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. And I could see, well, too, it's tough. Like, you could make an argument probably either way. I was going to say for kids, right? Because like you can't tell a 7-year-old to like be careful with their arm, because
Yeah.
they're 7 and they're just going to run into walls and shit and like
Yeah.
do dumb. They're just going to do dumb shit because they're 7 and they're stupid. But like an adult, like you can actually tell an adult, like, hey, we're not going to throw a cast on this thing. Like, just be careful with it. And
Yeah.
like, you could probably get away with that. But then, like I said, on the other side of it, like, kids are probably better at healing.
Well,
So,
they might heal fast. No, but like, so like obviously K-tape is a thing, and we know that K-tape doesn't actually do anything.
right. It's the most infuriating thing
So
in the world. I hate it.
physiologically, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, there is nothing that I hate more in this world than K-tape.
So the one thing it does, and this is something that somewhat, so I guess it's a theory, because I don't know if it can be proven. The one thing that people, even intelligent people, will use it for is feedback. So if you get your shoulder taped, it might make you think like, okay, like I need to pull my shoulder blades back. Now, I don't think
Right.
that's entirely true, but that's at least like I'll allow that as a prevailing theory. It's just, it could be the same thing with a cast. Like, the whole idea is the cast is there so that you don't make things worse.
Yeah.
And especially kids, because we deal with kids that are hurt all the time, and the kids are retarded and the parents are retarded. Like,
Yeah.
it is unfucking believable how stupid these parents are. But it's one of those things where it's like, oh, hey, you have a broken arm. So for the next 4 weeks, we're not going to cast it, but like, we don't want you doing much, and we just want you to like hang tight. They're going to go, oh, okay, yeah, sure. And then I'm going to go play football with my friends. And it's like, what the fuck? We told you had a broken arm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So,
I thought like maybe if I was okay,
well,
maybe it wouldn't
it
hurt.
didn't hurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
It didn't hurt until I fell on it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of information out there that's not going to get accepted by like traditional medicine for a long time. Like,
Yeah.
they're even talking like ACL surgery. You should be moving the next day,
Yeah.
like walking, loading, moving.
Yeah.
There's the tendon guy that I listened to a podcast with. He's immediately like, if you fucking, again, it's got to be a tendon injury, but like if you fucking
Right.
hurt it, if you hurt a tendon, he wants you loading it immediately.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
And
the guy, the
it makes
guy who
sense.
invented rest ice compression elevation, he came out and said ice doesn't work.
Right.
Yet we're still icing. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
traditional medicine is going to take a long time to react.
It's like we know, right? It's the is it cognitive dissonance? I guess it would classify as that, right? When you talk to people and you're like, we know for a fact that blood flow expedites or expedites the healing process, right? The more blood flow you get to the area, the quicker you'll heal, right? Accepted? Cool. Yeah, everyone gives you thumbs up. No problem. All right. So what does ice do? Well, it's a vasoconstrictor, which means it removes blood from the area and
Yeah.
it hinders the ability of blood flowing through everywhere. Everyone cool with that? Yeah, no problem. All right. So what do we do for an injury? We ice it.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
No, so I
Did you
think,
not listen to anything?
yeah, I think cognitive dissonance is a little different. Cognitive dissonance is like, if I I think it's cognitive dissonance, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. If you know, I'm definitely wrong. If someone says, I would rather never three putt ever again in golf, as opposed to hitting it 350 down the middle every time. And I go, well, statistically speaking, you would want to hit it 350 down the middle every time because, statistics and math and data and numbers and all this stuff shows that you will shoot better scores by hitting a 350 down the middle. And then they sit there and then they become even more strongly feeling about their original take. It was like the old CrossFit thing where if it's like, hey,
Yeah.
I don't like someone's like, I love CrossFit. I'm like, hey, I don't love CrossFit for these reasons. And then it's like, all it does is make them like CrossFit more.
Yeah.
So
That could be a different thing. I just looked up the definition.
yeah.
Cognitive dissonance is a term for the state of discomfort felt when two or more modes of thought contradict each other. So it's the perception of contradictory information. So I guess it would kind of be like what I said before. Like, we know we need blood to heal stuff. Ice doesn't put blood in areas. So what do? Well, we ice injuries. Like it's a contradictory information, but like the ignoring of it. Well, so what you're talking about, right? Is like when someone like doubles down, right? They're just I know what you're talking about, and I can't think of the word for
I'm
it.
trying to think of what that's called.
Yeah, outside of doubling down, like the real term for it, right? Because like people, I do that shit all the time, right? Like I'll be like, oh no, this is probably what it is. And someone will be like, no, it's not. And I'm like, no, now I for sure am gonna dig my heels in and be like, no, this is what it is. Just to be contradictive.
Yeah, I can't remember. I thought it was cognitive dissonance.
It could be. There could be different different things.
Oh, yeah, because it could also be like what's cognitive dissonance in psychology versus behavior or something.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because even here it's like many people smoke even though they know it is harmful to their health. That is an example of cognitive dissonance.
Right. Yeah, so that could still be it.
Or it's when your beliefs don't line up with your actions. See, I think there's a little bit of difference here between psychology and behavior or behavioral science too.
That probably checks out. I could see that.
Yeah, like if you were someone that like promoted veganism but you eat meat, like that would be cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
But that's a behavior, not a thought process in a way.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, like anyone that like for a while back in the day would eat at Subway every day and be like, "Oh, it's healthy." I eat Subway every day.
That could be tough because people are stupid. They just genuinely might not know better.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, where do you draw the line between cognitive dissonance and Stupidity.
I think smoking's the best example of cognitive dissonance. Yeah. There is no smoker.
Or voting. My vote definitely counts. I'm totally gonna vote.
That's the thing, though. People actually believe that.
Yeah.
I'm about 98% certain that anyone that smokes knows it's bad for them.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. It won't happen to me.
Maybe someone else.
Yeah. Well, you always hear the stories about people that never smoke a day in their life
Yeah.
and they
Oh,
get lung cancer.
my great aunt was 106 and she smoked every day.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, all right, well,
All right,
maybe.
well, credit to your aunt.
She got good genes. I bet your aunt also didn't eat fucking sludge every day and drink 16 beers and she probably just
Sleep like
smoked.
shit.
Yeah.
Stressful job.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So speaking of people being retarded, there has been a string of like climate activists just doing dumb shit in regards to art.
Yeah, they're fucking up the paintings.
And I don't understand it. So we talked about one maybe like 2-3 weeks ago at this point. Someone threw like, was it like tomato soup on like a Vincent Van Gogh painting?
Yeah, but
And then
the painting was covered.
yeah. So then last week, someone threw, these are all climate activists. Someone threw mashed potatoes at a Monet painting. And now yesterday, someone glued their hand or their head to the girl with a pearl earring painting. Like, why? What's the point? And like, am I missing something here? Like, what is the connection between art galleries and climate change? Like, our is like big art, like actually behind like global warming? Like, did I miss something?
So I do think the prevailing theory is it actually has nothing to do with the art. They just know that people will notice what they're doing. But and I think Mike from Woburn, I think it was Mike from Woburn that kind of was talking about this. It because it has nothing. I don't think it has anything to do with art. I think what it does, it has to do with notoriety. So if you fuck up a famous painting, people will pay attention to you. The only problem is people hear that you threw mashed potatoes on a painting and they think you're an asshole.
Right. They just think you're the person that threw mashed potatoes on a painting. And then like that's it. Like no one's going to then read more about like climate change because there's no connection.
And then when you glue your head to a painting, I know you're an asshole.
Right.
Like,
correct. So now I'm even less inclined to read whatever it is you want me to read because you just glued your head to a painting.
No, and it's like I don't feel strongly about art, but I feel strongly about people being dickheads.
100%.
And it's like I kind of want to fucking get a 1983 Chevy Clydesdale and just like fill it up, start it, and just leave it there.
Just let it run.
Like not even drive it.
Yeah, fuck it. Oh, what are you doing with that? Nothing. Just leaving it there. Get like a diesel. What burn? Does diesel burn worse?
Should we start burning coal?
Yeah,
just burning it.
Just buy coal at the store and just throw it in your backyard and just light it on fire.
Light it up.
Yeah.
So I pulled up the AP just to see what the hell happened. So this guy I guess he tried to glue his head. I don't even know if he actually
So we can't even do that right.
Yeah.
We can't even deface a painting the right way.
Who appeared. So a video posted on Twitter showed one man pouring a can of red substance over another protester who appeared to attempt to glue his head to the glass-protected painting. The second man stuck his hand to the panel holding the centuries-old painting. So one of the men wearing a t-shirt emblazoned with the words "Just Stop Oil" shouted, "How do you feel when something beautiful and priceless being apparently destroyed before your eyes?" is that English? How do you feel when you see something beautiful and priceless being apparent? Oh, okay, no, that's fine. Do you feel outrage? Good. That is the feeling we see with the planet being destroyed before our very eyes.
Hey man, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, you're an asshole.
One, you're also not actually destroying anything because it's behind
No,
glass.
it's behind glass. It's protected.
And if anything, all this is going to do is basically make it so like people can't go to art galleries anymore. You know what I mean? Like they're just going to start doing stuff to like protect them better. And then people that actually enjoy going to art galleries are going to be like, well, what the fuck? You're like, you just ruined this experience for me.
And the climate hasn't changed.
Exactly. Yeah.
Did you send us the thing where the guy was like dispelling like climate change and how it's like not a thing?
Yeah, I think so.
And like he was being interviewed on the news and it was some like I don't know, some PhD or whatever the fuck.
It was a climatologist.
And they were like, well, it's climate change. And he's like, well, it's not climate change. And like the news anchor is like, well, of course it is. Like it has to be. And he's like, no, we see this stuff come in waves.
Yeah.
He goes, it happened in this year, this year, this year, and this year. Same thing.
Yeah.
They go in temperature waves too. Gets high, gets low.
Yep.
Same thing.
Yep.
Happens all the time. It's
Pretty sure we've talked about that on this show before, about how like the sun has like ups and downs, but also over the course of time, right? The thing that gives us fucking heat, right? The whole reason why we exist, well, like, I don't know, 90% of the reason why we exist, some of it is water too, but most of the reason why we exist is that giant ball of fucking fire that's in the sky that's like 17 million light years away, not light years away, but 17 million miles away. And it's getting bigger, right? The sun is expanding and it's getting more powerful because that's what it does. And eventually, not in our lifetimes, but eventually our sun will explode because that's what all stars do. And it's either going to like, I don't know if it's, I don't know the size, right? Like, I don't know like the sliding scale, but like eventually every sun gets to a point where it either explodes and like everything in the fucking solar system is destroyed, or it implodes, right? When it's so big when it explodes that it implodes and it like comes in on itself and it creates a black hole. And then everything in the solar system is destroyed anyway. So it's like, for these people to be like, well, the world is hotter now than it was 50,000 years ago. Well, yeah, no fucking shit. Like 50,000 years is like a decently significant amount of time in the sun's lifespan, right? Like it's more than 100 years, right? Like if the sun is alive for, 20 billion years or something like that, then 50,000 is still minuscule, but like it's a lot more significant than like 50 years. You know what I mean? Like, oh, in the last 50 years, the climate's done this. It's like, I don't really give a fuck. But they're like, oh, well, in the last 50,000 years, it's hotter. Yeah, that's what we expect it to be, right? Like we expect it to be. In 50,000 years in the future from now, it'll be even hotter, right? And then a billion years in the future, it'll be even hotter. And then eventually, whenever it is, like 7.5 billion years from now, the sun will explode. Like we know that for a fact. It's going to happen.
No. We got to go fuck up some paintings.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, your car is what's killing the world.
Yep.
Yep. Never mind all the actual research and studies that have been done and put into it that show the amount of carbon emissions that come from cars. Because actually, modern day cars are pretty good about emissions versus airplanes and ships. I think cargo ships account for, it's something absurd. I think it's something like 60% of all carbon emissions come from cargo ships.
So when's Tesla coming out with electric cargo ships?
Yeah, yeah.
We need battery powered boats.
But like no one is going after cargo ships. Everyone's like, no, you need to buy a Prius or you need to buy a Tesla. It's like, well, statistically, in the entire world, all of the cars in the entire world probably account for like less than 10% of all emissions. But like it's the cargo ships is a big one, and then planes is another big one. And then because everyone always makes the comment like, well, what do all these people fly to these conferences on? Private jets. Like they all take private jets. So it's like, cool, you have 27 private jets that flew in for this conference when like if they flew on a regular airplane, obviously that's less planes in the sky. You know what I mean? It's like this whole thing, but no one wants to have that part of the discussion because it's not fun. Oh, the other thing too, they blame it on is cows. Cow farts.
Cow farts.
Yeah. It's our cars and cow farts. I think if you combine the entire world car emissions and cow farts, it still doesn't even come to be like a quarter of what cargo ships produce. I saw a graphic on it once. It was pretty interesting. It was like a what's that called? Like a bar graph. I mean, and it shows like how much bigger, like significantly bigger the bar is for the ships versus like all the little tiny bars that are down there. So fucking people are stupid. But yeah, keep throwing shit at paintings and trying to glue your hands on the wall. Fucking assholes.
Or your head.
Yeah.
What a fucking asshole.
So similar, actually, that's a hey, it's a great segue. Similarly to the whole climate change thing, this is great, right? So let's just get this is the let's pile on climate change people episode.
Okay.
So there's a new plan in Saudi Arabia. Now let's remember here that
Saudi Arabia bad.
well, yeah, not only that, but like they literally have more fucking money than probably like the rest of the world combined. Like
yeah, dude, it's blood money. Make sure you mention that.
Yeah, they have money that's in the trillions of dollars.
I've heard it described as infinity money.
Basically, yeah. So they have decided that what they're going to do is they're going to construct a new city. And it's called Neom. It's Neom. I don't know how to say it. It's if it's like Neom or Neom, whatever the fuck it is. So what they're going to do is they're going to build an entirely new city area that's going to cost $500 billion. So it's going to cost $500 billion. It's going to be a mega city along the Red Sea coast of Saudi Arabia. So what they're going to do in their whole thing. So I don't know if you've heard about the line. It's the line is part of this. So if anyone out there is listening or watching, there's this thing called the line. It's like this fucking futuristic city that they're going to create, or like neighborhood where it's literally like whatever it is, like 150 yards wide, but it's like fucking miles long, and it goes up like 7 or 8 stories, and it's like this whole crazy thing. Just Google it. Google the line Saudi Arabia. It's fucking wild. So that's part of this Neom city. And the whole point of it is to produce what they call zero gravity urbanism. So what they want to do is they want to create something that is essentially self-sufficient, self-reliant, and according to the plan, every area is going to be powered solely by renewable energy. So their whole thing is, yeah, I got it right here. So every area will be powered solely by renewable energy, sustainably connected and surrounded by nature that will be regreened and rewilded. So their whole thing is like, we're going to take this as basically in the middle of the desert, and we're going to make like a self-sustaining city. And it's going to cost $500 billion, and it's the future, right? Sounds pretty cool, right? Like it sounds like wow, everything is going to be on renewable energy. So it'll be like solar powered and wind powered. Seems like two really good things to do in a desert, right? The places that have a lot of wind and a lot of sun. Um, from a country like Saudi Arabia that's known for oil, they're like, nope, we're doing green energy. Everything's clean and green. We're gonna plant trees, and we're gonna make this lush green area, all this whole shit, whatever. It seems like it would have a ton of support from people, right? Maybe the same people that are trying to glue their heads to the fucking walls in the art galleries. Well, in classic fashion of just people being fucking assholes, the response with this is, no, you can't do that. It's impossible. It's too expensive. So instead of people being like, wow, this is incredible, Saudi Arabia is taking the first step forward towards a self-sustainable, renewable energy city, right? Like it's this whole area. This is incredible. Like this is the future. Like no more carbon emissions that we were talking about that everyone's so upset about, all this shit. No, everyone's like, no, you can't do that. It can't be done. They literally are like, no, it can't be done.
Would they say it's literally impossible?
Yeah. It's literally impossible to do. So I just turn around and I look at it like, what the fuck do you want? Like, you just want to be unhappy. You just want to be an
Yes.
unhappy cunt your entire
Yep.
fucking life, right?
That's
You're
it.
going to bitch and moan and throw mashed potatoes at pieces of art and claim that the climate is changing and no one's doing anything about it. But then Saudi Arabia is like, oh, cool, we're going to do something about it. And we're going to spend $500 billion to do something about it. And you sit there and you're like, no, you can't do that. There's no way. It's impossible.
Literally impossible.
So what are we doing here? Like, what's the point?
It's all just, yeah, you're right. They just want to be miserable. All they want to do is piss and moan. Don't offer them any solutions. That's not what they want. It's not what
Yeah.
they're looking for.
It's like, what?
Well, because so this, think about it this way: if these are all climate change people without a fucking fucked up climate, what are they? Because
Yeah.
obviously they identify by this.
Yeah.
They
No,
need
that's
to have
true.
a fucked up climate, or else they cease to exist.
Right. Right. But they'd
Other
have
than
to
that,
they'd
they're
have to
just
move on to the
fucking
next thing.
no. They're just Jack and Jill from fucking IT or whatever the fuck they are.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. That's a good point. It's like the whole conspiracy theory, I suppose, if you will, about cancer, why they'll never cure cancer, because there's
Too much money.
too much money in treating cancer.
Yep.
That I never thought of it like that. I was sitting here being like, this, like, you would think like climate change activists would be like, we should be like more like Saudi Arabia, right? It's like the perfect scenario to set these people up to do this shit, because it's the same type of people that hate the United States, right? Like they will do anything they can to shit all over the country and say it's the worst place to fucking live. Why don't you go try and live in Saudi Arabia and say that? But but like, this is their opportunity to be like, look what Saudi Arabia is doing. They're committed to this and they're so much better than us because we suck. And they still can't even do that. That's why I hate them.
I'm telling you, they got no identity.
I hate most people though. So I guess that's not really that crazy.
No, it's easy. It's easy to hate everybody.
Yeah.
Very easy.
All right. So before we well, I guess before we wrap things up, but we don't necessarily have to wrap things up after this. I have the latest in this week's episode of why fantasy football sucks, right? So I'm not going to bore people with the whole like, oh, let me talk about my fantasy football team and all this. Nope. All I want to do is point out how fucking stupid it is and how insane. If you've been following the show long enough, you know that like we've been talking about how it's impossible. Like you and I both, like we're cursed when it comes to fantasy football. So what I want to do is just run through a couple little things here. So I drafted in this league. So this league is the one that I'm in with my buddy Neil. So I drafted DJ Moore, who has done absolutely dog shit all year, and I actually traded him away, and now he's the only person on Carolina's offense, and he's actually starting to score points. So I drafted Allen Robinson, who has totally disappeared and done nothing. I cut him a while ago. I drafted Trey Lance as my quarterback. He fucking blew out his knee or ankle or something, whatever it was. Also drafted David Njoku, who just fucked up his ankle and he's out for like a month. I cut him a while ago, but I did draft Cameron Brate, who he's out now for whatever the fuck injury he has. Now let's see. I traded for Jamar Chase a couple weeks ago, and now it looks like Jamar Chase is going to be out for a month because he's got a hip injury. Who else did I have? I had a couple other people that got hurt. They ended up. Oh, Javonte Williams. Did I say Javonte Williams?
Not yet.
I drafted Javonte Williams. And he not only blew out his ACL, but I think he also blew out his like meniscus and LCL too. He had like a massive fucking knee injury. So actually, let's go. This is fun. So the first 5 picks in my draft, I went Stephon Diggs, Javonte Williams, DJ Moore, Damian Pierce, Allen Robinson. None of those guys are on my team anymore.
That's good.
I traded Diggs for Jamar Chase and Michael Gallup, and Michael Gallup has done nothing. Obviously, the Javonte Williams died. DJ Moore I traded away because he sucked. Damian Pierce I traded away because he sucked at that time, and now he's fucking great. And then Allen Robinson. So pretty awesome. And that's again this week's version of why fantasy football fucking sucks. Because
I think I'm 3 years clean now.
You just can't avoid it. Or I can't. Me personally, I can't avoid the injuries. Like I don't know what it is. Now, to be fair, in the family league, I'm doing pretty okay. But it's like in this league with Neil, it's like Jesus fucking Christ, dude, I can't catch a break. Like I said, I've had some other guys that I had that got hurt that I had to cut and get rid of. I just can't remember them off the top of my head. So pretty sick.
Yep. Well, this is why I don't do this shit anymore. Never mind. It's not worth it for an entire year.
Yeah. It's a lot. It literally like it drives you fucking crazy.
Yep.
So I think I might slow it down on that the league I'm in with Neil. Like there's no point in it anymore. Like I'm gonna just start losing.
See if you can start selling players.
I could do that too. But I mean, the only guys I have left that are worth anything are Jalen Hurts, and Chris Olave.
You could sell Jalen Hurts for a lot of money.
Yeah, I could actually. So, oh, Mitch, shout out to Mitch. He just texted me right now at 8:16. Goes, I'm back home. All right. Well, we're probably going to be wrapping this up soon.
Yeah, maybe Tuesday.
Sorry, we'll get you on Tuesday. um. So yeah, do you want to wrap this up?
I do. So I don't want to say that I have this type of power, but I think I killed Amazon.
Wow. Did you
So
draft it in a fantasy football league?
worse, I bought stock in it.
Oh God.
So Amazon had a stock split. I don't know how long ago.
Yeah, it was like July because I actually own Amazon stock.
Might have been June, mid-June. I think
Yeah.
they split. And
Holy shit.
so they had a stock split mid-June, which meant, and I don't know what it split from to whatever, but basically what it meant was instead of it being like $1 billion a share, it was down to like, I don't know, $100.
It was fuck. I think it was a 1 to 5. No,
Yeah,
no, it was a 15. It was either
because I want to say it went from like, because it maybe wasn't fully $2,000, maybe it was 1,500 a share, and it dropped to like $100.
I think it was a 1 to 15 split.
Yeah, okay. So, the logic is you are looking at Amazon at $100 for a stock that once upon a time was worth 1,500.
Right. Right.
If you're in it for long enough, maybe not 1,500, but it's a pretty powerful stock.
Right.
Well, let me see if I can find the shit. I lost it on Twitter. I had, because this is how I found out. I was on like the trending on Twitter.
Wow.
Yes. So from Reuters Business, Amazon projects current quarter sales below Wall Street estimates as decades high inflation and intense competition from rivals such as Walmart weigh on its retail business. So, needless to say, Amazon is getting fucking hammered on the stock right now. It is down to $96 a share, which June was about 3 months ago.
And at one point today, it was down to 88.
Oof. Yeah, I saw an image of that. We are looking at being down. Amazon is currently down 42% in the last year. And when did I get into it? In June? Mid-June. About 116 or so. Its peak since then got up to about 143, and now it is 96 live.
Yeah.
Pretty good. So you got in on it too. So I guess it's not just me. I don't want to have that much power.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm looking at it now on Robinhood. So I truthfully, I haven't looked at any of my stocks on Robinhood in weeks, just because
Because
I
it's
know that
awful.
the market has just been terrible. So I'm like, what's the point? So I see it right here. It was actually a 20-to-1 split.
So it's probably
So
close to $2,000 and cut down to about 100.
yeah. So I've lost about 38% of what I put in.
Lost about 12.
I lost
But
17% just today. My today's return, I'm down 17%. In total, I'm down 38%.
yeah, because I got it at 110.
Yeah.
Or
Holy shit.
that's my average.
Are you watching
That's
this
my
game?
average.
Did the Bucks just muff a punt?
I don't know. No,
I
because there's like
literally
12:30 left in the game.
I looked at the screen
Quarter.
while you were talking, and the Bucks made a stop on third down, and it was fourth down. And then I looked at you, I looked at my Robinhood, and I looked back, and the Ravens have the ball in the red zone. So it had to have been a muff punt. by the Bucks.
Maybe.
Who's their punt returner?
I don't know. I wasn't watching, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
I was too busy looking at how all my stocks are terrible, and I've cursed all these businesses.
You're the real reason for the economic downfall.
The Phillies' success in the playoffs.
Yeah. That's the thing. Did you bet on the Phillies?
No, I didn't bet on the Phillies. Of course I didn't. Do you think they'd be here if I fucking bet on them?
No, that's true.
Did you take them?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay.
I did. I sent that in the group chat, didn't I? I said
I know you did.
if the country is gonna fucking go down, I'm gonna make some money off of it.
Yeah.
So for anyone that has no idea
credit
what
to
we're
yourself.
talking about, I forget who put it. It might have been Unusual Whales on Twitter. I think it was a few different people on Twitter actually that I've seen it from at this point. But every year or every time that
It was a recession.
there has been a recession or a extreme economic downfall, the Philadelphia Phillies have won the World Series. So I sent that to everyone in the group text. I think at the beginning of the playoffs. I think it was still like the ALDS or like just the division series, like the division round of the playoffs. And I sent that and I was like, the Phillies just made the playoffs. Like, I'm going to put some money on the Phillies to win the World Series because I think the fucking world's going to fall apart. So it's happened 3 times before, I think.
Definitely 2008.
Yeah. So they won in 2008. I think it was like 1980. And then there was another one in there too. There was either 2 or 3 times prior, but like but at all times that there was a recession, the Phillies won the World Series. So I looked at that and I was like, well, fuck. Like I just said, if we're going to go into a recession and the country's going to fall apart, then I'm going to make some money off of it. So I took a future bet on the Phillies to win the World Series, and here we are. Like a month later, the Phillies are in the World Series. So who knows? We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So
Did you hedge out?
no, but I might.
You hedge out at all?
I might. I might do it for the World Series. Who they playing?
Astros.
The Astros.
Astros gonna be favored though.
Yeah.
It might not be worth it because I'm sure you probably didn't put enough money down that you're going to be really all that heartbroken if they lose.
It was. I think I put $10 on it.
Yeah, in what 10-1?
Yeah, it was something like
15-1.
Yeah, I'd have to look.
Yeah, it's not even worth it.
So, my final thought is, I am sick of the stupid fucking memes, whether it's on Instagram or Twitter, of the dumbass fucking Spirit Halloween costumes where it's like, oh, douchebag. And it's like one jean jacket, one leather pants, one that have you seen? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've seen them.
They're all over the place and they've been all over the place for weeks now. And it's like the first time I saw one, I was like, oh, that's funny. Like I forget which one it was, but it was like, oh, okay, that's funny. I get it. But now it's like all I'm seeing on Instagram and Twitter. And it's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, get this shit out of here. It's just stupid. Like, it's like the joke was funny once, but now that like everyone is doing it and everyone's doing it like a million times a day, and that's all I'm seeing on social media, it's not funny anymore. And it just pisses me off. Like, fuck off with your stupid like Spirit Halloween costume, the idea, right? Where it's like one of them, I think one of them I saw was like the goat, right? And it was like a red polo, black pants, a black Nike hat, a golf club. And it's like, all right, yeah, it's Tiger. Like, I get it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, all right, cool, whatever. It's like, but it's like all of these stupid things. And it's like, fuck off. It's not funny. It's not funny and it's not cool anymore.
I think the ones that try to be clever are not good. I think the ones where it was like, I think it was one. It was just like shitty sports better, and all it came with was a mirror.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, I think that was the one that I saw and actually laughed. But like some of these other ones, it's like, fuck off. You know what I mean? Like I'm seeing like at least 10 of them a day.
Well, see, I'm trying to find one on the spot, and I can't. But
Oh, of course. Because why
yeah, I
would
mean,
you?
why would I be able to?
Yeah. So that's that. That's just fucking stupid.
I
So
bet you. I bet you one of the strength coach ones is probably pretty funny because it's gonna come from one of the sarcastic guys. I know you. I know there's not a chance you follow any of these people, but the rugby strength coach, and then it's like Anderson strength something or other. All they do is just make fun of the profession with when they post. So it's
that's
like
pretty good.
I got to imagine if they did one, it would actually be pretty funny. The rugby strength coach is good because I think he actually like knows what he's talking about, but all he does is just fucking troll the internet.
That's great.
Yeah, so he made one. Of course he did. It's called Rugby Guy, and it includes unlimited opinions, small calves, boundless cynicism, accessory iced coffee, spicy memes, realistic cunt sound effect. And then in the comments, someone said something. If I can find it, someone goes, "Does it come with inflatable calves?" He goes, "It comes with polio to help people atrophy their calves to an accurate degree."
That's pretty good. That's awesome. uh oh yeah, I found one of them. So one of them, it's like I'll hold it up for the YouTube. It's a picture of Phil Mickelson,
Yeah.
and it says midlife crisis,
See,
and it goes
that's not funny.
includes beard, leather jacket, calf enhancers, changing stories, 800 milligrams of caffeine. It's like that's
fucking dumb.
it's stupid. Like that, fuck off. Like that's not funny. And I don't even like Phil that much. I mean, like I read his book. His book was interesting.
That one's stupid. It's like, oh, midlife crisis. Ooh, a Harley, a tattoo.
Yeah.
Like, that's not funny.
Yeah. And I'm trying to scroll and like see if I can find some of the other ones, but like they're all stupid. They can all get fucked. So
I don't know. I mean, I like the fucking. Well, I guess it's also part of it because I know the rugby strength coach. He's an asshole. Small calves. No, it comes with polio to fucking bring
yeah.
the calves down.
Yeah. Well, that is going to do it for us. So thank you for watching. If you're on YouTube, remember, give us a thumbs up, like, rate, subscribe, review. Same thing on the audio. If you use iTunes or Spotify, you can give us 5 stars over there. Tell everybody you know about the show. You can get us on Instagram at Sarcasm Speaks Pod. We're on Twitter at sarcasm_speaks. The Facebook page is Sarcasm Speaks. The website, sarcasmspeaks.com. Go to the merch store, buy some merch. Big thank you to mybookie.com. Use the promo code sarcasmpod when you sign up to double your first deposit up to $1,000. Use the same promo code sarcasmpod at grillyourassoff.com, which is the greatest site in the world. My stuff just came in yesterday that I ordered the other day. The best seasonings and accoutrements and anything else you need for grilling or just cooking in general. You go to grillyourassoff.com, use the promo code sarcasmpod. You'll save 15% off your entire order every single time you check out over there. I think that's it. Oh, we still have the weekly pick'em. If you want in on the pick'em, let us know. So if you live in Arkansas, you can still do it. You're probably not as big of a professional football fan. You probably only care about the Razorbacks.
Pig suey.
Yeah, I don't know. What would you be? You can't like. Would you be a Cowboys fan? Like you can't. like the St. Louis Rams are gone. Like that would have been the team to care about in Arkansas, but
I
like
mean, if I'm going to be 1,000,000% honest, I'm going to have to pull up a map of Arkansas.
Kansas City, would you be a Chiefs fan? Probably.
Well, right now, probably.
Yeah.
I don't even know what state's Arkansas. Oh, Arkansas is very close to Dallas.
Yeah. Probably a Cowboy, either Cowboys or a Chiefs fan, or maybe you stuck with the Rams even though they left you.
Yeah, I guess Arkansas, the two closest, and this is really me eyeballing the map. My three closest would be Dallas, Nashville, New Orleans looks a little further away, and Kansas City might be a little far away too.
Hmm.
It looks like they're surrounded by NFL teams without one.
Yeah. Which is why they probably don't really give too many shits about the NFL.
Once upon a time, it almost made, we're talking like 3/4 of a circle surrounding Arkansas with NFL teams.
Yeah.
But with St. Louis gone, there's a gap in the northeast corridor.
Yeah. So if you're in Arkansas, you want in on the pick 'em, let us know. We'll get you in. So or anywhere. You don't have to just be in Arkansas. If you're listening right now, you can be in the pick 'em. Just get in touch with us and we'll get you signed up. So until next time.